Hi, my name is Jill Woodruff. I am a licensed and nationally board certified psychotherapist and creative arts therapist. As a reminder, the videos I make are not a substitute for therapy, so friends, if you need to reach out to someone to talk to, please do so. But it is also often achievable to work on your own mental health without the active supervision of a mental health professional. So it is one of my personal missions to make some of these wonderful creative tools that I use more widely available. Hope you enjoy.
This activity is especially helpful if you are feeling stuck emotionally, physically, you're just feeling like you can't make a decision or you're in a funk. It's a quick thing, you can do it in just a couple of minutes. What you need are some markers or other colored things and a pen or a pencil. As usual, you could do this activity with just a pencil and a piece of paper because I like to keep it simple. So you'd set a 10-second timer, or, just do it quick, and go to town scribbling. So this immediately is something that's a catalyst for movement. Don't think too much, just swirl that thing around and make some shapes on your paper for about 10 seconds. After that, keeping in the vein of not thinking too much, we're just going to kind of get an overview of what it looks like and see if any shapes jump out at you. They don't have to be perfect shapes. The idea here is that we're just kind of glancing over things and allowing our subconscious to just form some images for us. So here, I guess I picked out a little fish. I added a line in order to kind of flesh out that shape, and that's completely fine. Looking around at some of the other areas, it looks like maybe something right here in the middle. I might find another shape and create something that's sort of like a little face. Is that happy? Surprised? Not sure. It's got a funky little top on it maybe, and this is its hair. Okay, so we're keeping it light. We're not worried. We're not trying to impose some kind of ideals or suggestions upon what we're doing. This is, again, as always, I say this a lot, not an art competition. This is just you doing a little experiment with yourself to create some insight, create movement. This is a great way to create movement. Like I said, when you're feeling kind of stuck, emotions need to move. So we can do things like this to just kinetically with our body get movement going and also with our mind. So I've pulled out another shape up here. It looked like an upside down kite. Speaking of movement, we've got something flying across the top of the page upside down. So I'm just going to go through and see if I can find just a few things in the imagery. If it's stressing you out, shift to a different area of the scribbles. And again, it can be a little bit abstract. It doesn't have to be anything other than what you need it to be in the moment. Maybe we have another smile here. And perhaps a big old clown nose. Sometimes when we're feeling especially stagnant, we can look around at what's going on for us. For instance, here it is starting to come into winter. People are starting to stay indoors a little bit more. That can be a factor. Maybe we're having a lull at work and we're feeling like we're getting stuck doing things at work. So we can try to create some kind of movement just in a couple of minutes by doing this thing that is completely a tangent from what you probably do, unless you are a scribbler all the time. This is probably a tangent from your daily life. So it looks like I've found, 3 or 4 or 5 things, starting to kind of fill it up. There's no rule. You can fill the entire scribble with things. You could just color block in order to kind of get your brain and your hands and your mind moving. Or you can just do a few images and keep going. So we've got a little, maybe like a vase there with some flowers, something like that. As much or as little as feels comfortable to you. And then an important part of doing these art therapy activities is the reflection part. So take a pencil. I typically will use a Sharpie just for visibility with the video. But whatever you want, you could put it in a separate book, keep a journal, and just make some notes about the first things that come to mind when you reflect on the image that has been created. So I noticed there's a lot of things that look kind of happy, a little bit maybe juvenile and childlike and a little fun. So maybe I'm seeking to kind of let loose a little bit and not have things be so rigid for me. Again, I'm noting that there's some stuff with movement, maybe the kite's flying through the air. It's clearly upside down. So, I could think a little bit about that. What does that mean for me? Maybe that little fish is swimming around in my scribbles and that's creating movement. I'm making some arrows to imply more movement. Clearly, I'm feeling like I'm trying to get unstuck. And then I might just create some kind of little summary of the story, moral of the story down at the bottom for myself. So I could just sum it up. What did this experience look like for me of going through this scribble drawing to get myself unstuck? Maybe I need to not take life too seriously today. Give myself a little love. Maybe I need to not take life too seriously ever. Maybe sometimes, but maybe not as often. And then it's really helpful to put a date. If you don't want to, you don't have to, of course, but it's helpful to kind of keep a chronicle of these journeys that you go on with your mental health. So thank you so much for experiencing this Get Unstuck scribble drawing with me. Thank you for allowing me to be your guide in this. And as always, please, friends, be kind to yourselves. We respond well when we're kind to ourselves. Take care.